You know those cars you see rotting in British barns? The ones people say are future classics? This isn't one of those. This is a 1956 British car, the Morris Oxford Series 3, designed in Oxford, England. The UK stopped making them in 1971, but India kept building them unchanged until 2014. 58 years, the exact same car. And here's what nobody tells you. Bonhams auction house in London just sold a 1965 Indian-built example for £28,500. UK collectors are importing these from India. Why? Because Indian examples are in better condition than the British originals. No road salt, dry climate, better preservation. In the next 12 minutes, why India kept making a 1950s British car for 58 years without changing anything. How Hagerty UK added it to their classic car valuation guide in 2023. And why restoration shops are calling these time capsule investments the chance to own 1950s. British engineering better preserved than anything left in Britain. If you're into British classics or looking for the next collectible automobile market opportunity, this story changes everything. Let's go. Here's the roadmap. First, how a 1956 British family car became India's government symbol for half a century. Second, why zero modifications happened in 58 years, not even airbags. Third, how the collectible car market discovered these and what they're worth today. Based on Bonhams auction results, Hagerty UK classic car price guide data, and interviews with British automotive historians who call this the most unchanged car in production history. And at the end, you'll see why this patterned peripheral country is keeping cars alive decades beyond the original repeats across the world. But first, 1956, Oxford, England. Hands touching car reverently. 1956. The Nuffield organization, later part of British Motor Corporation, designs the Morris Oxford Series 3, post-war Britain. Families need affordable, reliable transportation. The Morris Oxford, four-door sedan, 1.5-liter engine. Nothing fancy, just solid British engineering. Spacious for families, simple to maintain, built to last. In Britain, it's a success. Middle-class families, taxi fleets, government departments. The Morris Oxford becomes a familiar sight on British roads through the late 50s and 60s. But here's the thing, British car design was evolving fast. By the late 60s, the Morris Oxford looked old. Rounded 50s styling, chrome bumpers, bench seats. 1971, British Leyland, the merged automotive giant, discontinues the Morris Oxford in the UK. It's been replaced by more modern designs, the Morris Marina. The Austin Allegro, front-wheel drive, modern safety, updated styling. For Britain, the Morris Oxford is history, a relic of the 50s, except 5,000 miles away in Calcutta, India. This car was just getting started. And what happened next would turn it into something the British designers never imagined. A symbol of an entire nation. 1958. Just 2 years after the Morris Oxford Series 3 launches in Britain. Hindustan Motors in India strikes a deal. They'll manufacture the Morris Oxford under license. Sell it in India as the Hindustan ambassador. Why India wanted it? Simple. Post-independence, India needed domestic car production. Prime Minister Nehru's government had a policy. Import substitution. Make it in India, not import it. The ambassador fit perfectly. Spacious rear seat Indian V. IPs needed room. High ground clearance Indian roads were rough, full of potholes. Simple mechanics. Any Indian mechanic could fix it. And here's where it gets crazy. India kept building it, exactly as designed in 1956. Same body, same chassis, same engine layout, same everything. 1960s. Ambassador becomes the Indian government car. Prime ministers rode in them, governors, bureaucrats, police departments. If you were important in India, you rode in an ambassador. White ambassador with a red light on top? That's a government official. You move aside. 1970s. The UK stops making the Morris Oxford in 1971. India doesn't care. Keeps building ambassadors. Because in India, this car worked. 1980s and 90s. While Britain moved through multiple car generations, Morris Marina, Austin Maestro, Rover 200, India was still making the 1956 Morris Oxford as the Hindustan ambassador. Same design. Same tooling from 1958. No major changes. The car an Indian bought new in 1985 looked identical to one from 1960. Same rounded body, same chrome grille, same dashboard, and Indians loved it. Why change what works? It fit Indian roads. Indian mechanics knew every bolt. Parts were everywhere and cheap. Generational ownership. Your grandfather's ambassador became your father's ambassador, became your ambassador. The same model, passed down. Still in production new. 2000, 21st century arrives. India's economy liberalizing. Foreign cars entering. Toyotas, Hondas, Hyundais, modern cars with airbags, air conditioning, power steering. The ambassador still had none of that. Manual steering, no airbags, no ABS, bench seats. Roll-down windows, 1956 technology in the year 2000, 2014. After 56 years of continuous production, Hindustan Motors announces Ambassador production will end May 2014. Final Mark IV Ambassador rolls off the assembly line in West Bengal. Why it ended? Simple economics. Safety regulations tightening globally. The Ambassador's 1950s design couldn't comply. No crumple zones. No modern safety features. Emission standards it couldn't meet. And sales had collapsed. Indians wanted modern cars now. The Ambassador's time had passed. May 2014. The last one is built. 58 years. From 1958 to 2014. The same 1956 design. Zero major modifications. Workers who'd spent entire careers building ambassadors ... emotional. This car was their life. Families whose grandfathers, fathers, and children ALL learned to drive in ambassadors ... morning. For India, it wasn't just a car ending. It was an era. The ambassador represented independent India, self-reliance, the Nehru years, government prestige. That final ambassador? Preserved by Hindustan Motors. A reminder of 58 years ... of refusing to change. So that's a nice story about an old Indian car, right? Except, here's what nobody expected. The British classic car market woke up. 2022, Bonhams Auction House, London. A 1965 Hindustan Ambassador Mark II, fully restored. Hammer price, £28,500. That's over $35,000 US dollars for an Indian-built copy of a 1956 British car. And it's not alone. Classic car auctions across the UK. Bonhams, Silverstone Auctions, H&H Classics have sold multiple ambassadors in the past 3 years. Prices ranging £15,000 to £30,000. Why? Here's the thing British collectors realized. The Morris Oxford Series 3 in the UK, most of them rotted decades ago. British weather. Road salt, rust, they're gone. But in India, dry climate in many regions, garage-kept culture, Indian families cherish these. Lower annual mileage, better preservation. UK collectors started importing Indian-built ambassadors, and they found cars in better condition than any surviving British-built Morris Oxfords. Original paint, original interiors, numbers matching engines. 2023. Hagerty UK, the classic car valuation and insurance authority, adds the Hindustan Ambassador to their classic car price guide. Their assessment? Emerging collectible with investment potential. Why Hagerty rates them? Rarity in the UK market. Historical significance. British automotive heritage preserved in India. And the fact that these represent 1950s British engineering in time capsule condition. Classic car insurance companies in the UK Hagerty, Footman James, Lancaster Insurance now offering agreed value policies for ambassadors, meaning you and the insurer agree it's worth £20,000. If something happens, they pay £20,000, no depreciation. Restoration shops in the UK specializing in ambassador preservation. And here's what CRAZY. Parts are easier to source than original Morris Oxford parts. Why? Because India made these for 58 years. Parts networks still exist in India. You can get original unrestored ambassador parts shipped from India easier than finding. Morris Oxford parts in the UK British Automotive Enthusiast Club's Morris Register, BMC clubs now have Hindustan Ambassador sections. Owners showing these at classic car shows, concours events. People taking pride in these Indian-built time capsules. RM Sotheby's, another top auction house, planning to feature ambassadors in their upcoming British classic auctions. The collectible automobile market recognizing what these represent. The longest-running unchanged car design in automotive history. 58 years, 0 modifications. And for British collectors, it's a chance to own 1950s British engineering, better preserved than anything left in Britain itself. Former colonies preserving the mother country's heritage better than the mother country did. There's irony there, in value. So when people ask, why are Indian ambassadors selling for £25,000 in the UK? The answer, history, preservation, and scarcity. These are 1950s British cars. That survived because India refused to change them. Tools in hand, surrounded by white and cream-colored ambassador bodies. Today, if you go to India, you'll still see ambassadors, not many. But they're there, survivors, Kolkata taxi drivers who refused to give theirs up, government officials who kept their old cars, families maintaining their grandfather's ambassador because it's tradition. The Hindustan Motors factory in West Bengal closed for ambassador production. But the ambassador's legacy? Still visible on Indian roads. And that final ambassador built in May 2014? Preserved by the company. A reminder of what this car meant. Not just to India. Not just to Britain, but to automotive history. 58 years of production. The same 1956 design. Not a facelift. Not an update. Identical, the most unchanged car in continuous production history. Britain designed it in 1956 for post-war families. India made it the symbol of an independent nation. Kept it alive for 58 years when it should have died in the 70s. And today, those Indian-built ambassadors are returning to Britain. Not as imports, as collectibles, classic car auctions. Investment-grade examples. Restoration projects. Britain gave India the design. India preserved it better than Britain ever could, and now it's coming home. Worth more than it ever was originally. 58 years, 0 changes. One design, 2 countries. The car that refused to evolve became a time capsule worth thousands. That's the ambassador. The 1956 car India kept alive until 2014. And that's why India kept the ambassador unchanged for 58 years. But this is just the second story. Next video, China. 1981, Volkswagen creates the Passat B2 in Germany. China starts making it as the VW Santana. Germany stops in 1988. China? Still making new Santanas today in 2024, 43 years and counting. The 1981 design still selling, 5 million units sold in China alone. And if you missed the previous episode, Mexico kept the Beetle alive 25 years after Germany stopped. The story of the Vacho that became a $45,000 collectible, it's right there. This is Cars That Refuse to Die. 10 countries that kept making cars decades beyond their origin nations. And everyone became gold for collectors. Next episode, China's never-ending Santana. Hit play.